Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins All World. Today, we're going to uncover the fascinating and surprisingly valuable story behind the 2013 United States State Quarter Dollar, a coin that might just be worth a whole lot more than 25 cents. So stay with me until the end, because you're about to learn what makes this coin so rare, the types of errors that collectors are willing to pay big money for, and how to tell if your 2013 quarter could be the next jackpot find. Let's set the scene. The year was 2013, and the U.S. Mint was deep into its America the Beautiful Quarters program, a stunning collection of quarters featuring national parks and historic sites from every state and U.S. territory. These coins weren't just currency, they were miniature works of art. Each quarter released in 2013 had a unique reverse design representing a specific location: White Mountain National Forest in New Hampshire, Perry's Victory in Ohio, Great Basin in Nevada, Fort McHenry in Maryland, and Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. Now, these coins were produced in massive quantities for circulation, just like any other quarter. But here's where things get interesting: not all quarters are created equal. Within these millions of coins, a tiny number were struck with minting errors or produced in limited edition proof sets that make them incredibly rare and valuable to collectors. One of the most coveted types of errors is the double die. This happens when the die used to strike the coin imprints the design twice by mistake, but slightly misaligned. The result is a doubling effect, often seen on the date, lettering, or key design elements of the coin. A double die 2013 State Quarter with sharp, noticeable doubling can be a serious treasure, and collectors go crazy for them. Then we have off-center strikes, which occur when the coin blank isn't properly positioned in the press. These coins can have part of the design missing or shifted off to one side. Depending on how dramatic the misalignment is, the value of an off-center error can shoot up fast, especially if it's also in good condition. Now here's another major one: wrong planchet errors. This happens when a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank meant for a different coin, like a nickel or foreign denomination. These mistakes are incredibly rare and instantly boost the coin's value into the thousands. Imagine finding a 2013 quarter that weighs less than it should, or has a strange metallic color. Those might be signs of a wrong planchet strike. And speaking of metal, there's a lesser-known twist. Some collectors believe that test strikes or experimental planchets occasionally make their way into circulation. If a 2013 quarter was struck on a unique metal or treated differently during production, it could be a one-of-a-kind piece worth serious money. But even without an error, condition is everything. Coins in mint state, meaning they've never been used, have no wear, and still show their original luster, are far more valuable than those that have been bouncing around in pockets and cash registers. If you have a 2013 State Quarter that looks brand new and has a strong strike with no visible blemishes, it's already in the running to be something special. Another key to watch for is the mint mark, that tiny letter near the date. Quarters from Philadelphia, P, and Denver, D, were released into circulation, but those from San Francisco, S, were mostly made for collectors. If you find a 2013 S mint quarter in circulation, especially one with a proof finish or an error, you might just have a very rare find on your hands. Let's also talk about die breaks and cuds, small or large chunks of metal that appear raised on the coin due to damage or wear on the die itself. While these can appear minor, die breaks in unusual or dramatic places can turn your average quarter into a highly collectible item. What makes the 2013 quarters especially appealing to collectors is their combination of beauty, history, and scarcity. Each one represents a real American location, a slice of natural or historic pride. So finding a flawed version of such a meaningful design adds a whole new layer of rarity and excitement. And here's the best part: these coins are still out there. They're still in pockets, jars, purses, vending machines, you name it. Unlike coins from the early 1900s that are mostly locked away in collections or museums, the 2013 quarters are still circulating, which means you could find one at any moment. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to come across a 2013 United States State Quarter with the right combination, an unusual mint error, a rare strike, or flawless mint condition, it could be worth as much as $55,000. Yes, you heard that right. $55,000 for a single quarter. That's more than some people make in a year, all in the form of one lucky coin. So, the next time you're sorting through your spare change, don't rush. Take a closer look at those quarters. Examine the details. Check the date, the edges, the finish. Because you never know, your ordinary-looking 2013 state quarter could be hiding a very extraordinary secret. Today, you're going to find out just how valuable these coins can be. Stick around, because you might be sitting on a coin that's worth a whole lot more than 25 cents. And trust me, collectors are watching closely for these hidden gems. Let's dive into the fascinating world of the 2016 United States State Quarter Dollar, part of the beloved America the Beautiful Quarters program, a stunning series that honors national parks and historic sites across the country. In 2016, 5 beautiful quarters were released: Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, Cumberland Gap in Kentucky, Harper's Ferry in West Virginia, Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, and Fort Moultrie at Fort Sumter in South Carolina. Each of these coins featured detailed artwork celebrating the natural beauty and history of America, but here's the twist: while these coins were produced for everyday use, not all of them were created equally. Among the millions minted, a few incredibly rare and valuable versions slipped through the cracks. These are the coins that collectors hunt for, the coins that can turn an ordinary day into an unforgettable one. What makes a 2016 quarter valuable? It all comes down to a combination of rarity, condition, and minting errors. Let's break that down. Point 1: of the most sought-after features in any collectible coin is the double die error. This occurs when the coin design is struck more than once, but not perfectly aligned. The result is a doubling of the letters or numbers on the coin, usually noticeable on words like Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date. In the case of a 2016 state quarter, if you spot even the slightest doubling on these elements, you could be holding a seriously valuable coin. Another rare and desirable mistake is the off-center strike. These are coins that were struck while the blank was slightly out of position, causing the design to be printed off-center. Some may be just 5 to 10% off, but others can be more dramatic, with parts of the coin's design missing entirely. The more off-center the strike, while still showing a full date, the more valuable the coin becomes. And then there's the extremely rare wrong planchet error, when a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank intended for a different coin, like a nickel or foreign currency. These errors are incredibly rare, and because they create coins with unusual weight, shape, or coloring, they're highly prized by collectors. Don't forget about die cracks, cuds, and rim errors. These types of minting mistakes happen when the dies used to strike the coins become damaged or misaligned. A die crack might appear as a raised, jagged line across the surface of the coin. A cud, on the other hand, is a blob of metal that covers part of the design, usually caused by a piece of the die breaking off. These flaws may sound small, but they can massively boost a coin's value, especially when paired with a well-preserved surface. Speaking of condition, grading matters more than you might think. Coins in mint state, especially MS-65 and above, can fetch a much higher price than those that show signs of wear. A shiny, well-struck 2016 quarter with 0 blemishes, kept in pristine condition since the day it was minted? That's the kind of coin serious collectors dream about. And here's a collector tip: always check for coins minted in San Francisco, marked with an S mint mark. These are usually proof coins with incredibly sharp detail and mirror-like finishes, originally made for collectors. Finding one in circulation, or with an error, is like striking gold. Now, here's something most people overlook: limited runs or low mintage errors. Occasionally, the mint makes special releases in smaller numbers, often for collector sets. If one of these coins escapes into general circulation, especially with a rare flaw, its value can skyrocket. What's truly exciting about the 2016 state quarters is that they're modern. They're recent enough that people still treat them like regular change. That means these valuable coins are still out there, hiding in wallets, cash registers, coin rolls, and pockets all across the country. It could be on your nightstand right now, just waiting to be discovered. So, what should you look for? Here's a quick checklist. Check the design. Does it match one of the 5 2016 state quarters? Look closely at the lettering and date. Any signs of doubling? Is the coin off-center? Oddly shaped? Lighter or heavier than usual? Does it have any raised lines, cracks, or missing parts of the design? What's the condition? Does it shine like it's brand new? Now comes the moment you've been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to find a 2016 state quarter with a rare mint error, especially in mint state condition, its value could rise beyond imagination. In fact, some rare 2016 quarters have sold to passionate collectors for an incredible $51,000. Yes, you heard that right, $51,000 for a single quarter that may be hiding in plain sight. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's not just about money, it's about the thrill of discovery, the beauty of design, and the stories these coins tell. So next time you come across a 2016 quarter, take a moment. Look closely. Because that small piece of metal in your hand just might be worth more than you ever imagined. Today we're talking about a coin that could be worth more than your rent, your car payment, or even your entire savings. So coin lovers and curious minds, stay with me till the very end, because this one's going to surprise you. Let's dive into the exciting world of the 2018 state quarter dollar. Now, these quarters are part of the Stunning America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021. In 2018, 5 quarters were released, each featuring a unique design representing a national site: Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan, Apostle Islands National Lakeshore in Wisconsin, Voyageurs National Park in Minnesota, Cumberland Island National Seashore in Georgia, and Block Island National Wildlife Refuge in Rhode Island. Each design showcases breathtaking scenery, historic sites, and rich American heritage, but as beautiful as they are, it's not just the artwork that collectors are after. The true treasure lies in the hidden rarities, those unusual versions of these quarters that slip through the cracks at the US Mint. You see, not every coin is struck perfectly. In fact, that's exactly where things get interesting. Rare minting errors, die flaws, and special variations are what make certain 2018 quarters stand out and fetch sky-high prices in the collector's market. Let's talk about double die errors, a collector's favorite. These errors occur when a coin is struck more than once with slightly misaligned impressions. It causes the text or image to appear doubled, often visible in the words United States of America, Liberty, or even the year 2018. If you spot one of these on your quarter, you might just be looking at a small fortune. Next up are off-center strikes. This is when the coin blank isn't perfectly aligned during minting, and the result is a coin with a visibly shifted design, sometimes with part of the image or lettering missing entirely. The more dramatic the off-center strike, especially if the date is still visible, the more desirable the coin becomes. Then there's the die break, also known as a cud. This happens when part of the die itself cracks or breaks off, leaving a raised blob of metal on the finished coin. These cuds are not just rare, they're unique. Each one is slightly different, making them a fascinating catch for collectors who crave one-of-a-kind pieces. And here's something truly special: wrong planchet errors. Imagine a quarter being struck on the metal blank of a nickel, a dime, or even a foreign coin. These mistakes are extremely rare but very real, and when found, they often sell for thousands of dollars due to their rarity and strangeness. Even among coins with no errors, condition is king. Coins that are in mint state, with no scratches, dings, or signs of wear, can be worth significantly more than those that have been in circulation. That bright, fresh from the mint shine? It matters a lot. Especially when it comes to coins from recent years like 2018. Now, here's something many collectors overlook: San Francisco's mint mark quarters. These were produced in smaller quantities and often for collector sets. If you find one in your pocket change, or better yet, one with an error, it could be significantly more valuable than its Philadelphia P or Denver D counterparts. Some 2018 quarters have also shown signs of clashed dies, when the coin dies strike each other without a blank between them, leaving ghostly outlines of the opposite design on the coin's surface. It's eerie, fascinating, and rare, which means higher value. Let's not forget that these coins are still young. That means many of the most valuable 2018 quarters are still in circulation, waiting to be discovered. You don't need to dig through ancient collections or rare auctions. Your everyday change could be hiding a treasure right under your nose. So, what should you do next? Start checking every 2018 quarter you come across. Examine the design. Check for doubling, off-centering, cracks, or odd colors and weights. Look at the edges. And always check the mint mark, especially if you spot an S, because if you're lucky, if you find that one rare, error-struck, mint state 2018 state quarter, you could be holding something incredibly valuable. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for: a rare 2018 United States state quarter dollar, with the right combination of mint error and flawless condition, has sold for as much as $48,000. That's right, $48,000. For a coin that might be sitting in your wallet or lying in your change bowl right now. So don't ignore your quarters. Check them. Study them. Treasure them. Because that simple little coin might just be your golden ticket. Today, we're diving into a coin that might just blow your mind, a 2020 United States state quarter dollar that could be worth thousands. That's right, your loose change might be hiding a rare and valuable gem, and you don't even know it yet. So grab your magnifying glass, coin collectors and curious minds, because this video could change the way you see the money in your pocket forever. Let's talk about the 2020 state quarters, which were part of the final stretch of the celebrated America the Beautiful Quarters program. This remarkable coin series, launched in 2010, featured stunning designs honoring national parks and historic sites across the United States. In 2020, 5 new designs were released: National Park of American Samoa, Ware Farm National Historic Site, Salt River Bay National Historical Park, Marsh Billings Rockefeller National Historical Park, and Tallgrass Prairie National Preserve. Each of these quarters is not just currency, they are little pieces of art and history, capturing the essence of America's natural beauty and cultural heritage. But what really makes these quarters special, what turns them from pocket change into potential gold mines, is rarity and minting errors. Now, here's the exciting part for collectors: the 2020 quarters may be recent, but that makes the valuable ones even harder to spot. Most people assume newer coins are worthless to collectors. That's a big mistake. Some of the rarest and most expensive coins are modern issues with extremely specific errors, and the 2020 quarters are no exception. One of the most talked about versions of the 2020 quarter is the American Samoa bat quarter. This coin features a Samoan fruit bat hanging upside down with its baby, a design that's both adorable and symbolic of maternal care. But as cute as it is, it's not just about the design, it's about the rare versions of this coin that have serious flaws from the mint. Let's break down a few types of errors that can make a 2020 quarter valuable. First, we have double die errors. These are coins where the lettering, numbers, or even parts of the image appear twice because of a misalignment during the minting process. If you ever spot doubling on the words, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date, you might be holding onto something truly rare. Next are off-center strikes, which happen when the coin blank isn't properly aligned inside the press. Some of these coins may have part of the design missing altogether, or a blank edge on one side. The more off-center it is, while still keeping a visible date, the more desirable it becomes. Then there's the possibility of die cracks and cuds. These are caused by wear or damage to the dies that strike the coins. You might notice raised, jagged lines across the coin or areas where part of the design seems to have a blob of extra metal. These kinds of imperfections are highly collectible, especially when they're bold and easy to see. But perhaps the rarest of all are wrong planchet errors, when a quarter is accidentally struck on the metal blank meant for a different denomination or even a different country's coin. These are incredibly rare, and when discovered, they become instant collector legends. Also, don't overlook edge errors or coins with missing clad layers, which can cause the coin to appear coppery on one or both sides. These types of errors are subtle, but they're like a magnet for collectors who specialize in U.S. mint oddities. Another factor that plays a huge role in value is condition. A 2020 quarter in mint state, especially graded MS 65 or higher, can sell for significantly more than a worn version, even without an error. Combine pristine condition with a rare flaw, and you have a recipe for something extraordinary. And here's a tip for serious coin lovers: keep your eye out for 2020 quarters with the W mint mark. That's right, the West Point Mint actually released limited quantities of quarters with a W on them in 2020, to create excitement among collectors. These coins are already scarcer than P or D mint marks, and if one has a rare error, you're looking at something very, very special. So, if you've got some 2020 quarters lying around, whether it's the Bat Quarter, Salt River Bay, or any of the others, take a closer look. Grab a magnifier, check for doubling, misalignments, cracks, or anything that seems off. Because those little details could mean you're holding onto something no one else has. And now, for the part you've all been waiting for, the number that changes everything. A rare 2020 United States state quarter dollar, with the right error and in mint state condition, has been known to sell for as much as $44,000. Yes, you heard that right, $44,000 for a quarter from just a few years ago. That's more than enough to buy a brand new car or take your dream vacation, and all from a coin that might be in your pocket right now. So what are you waiting for? Check those quarters. Spread the word to your fellow collectors. Because the next big coin discovery might just be sitting in your change jar. Today we're talking about the 2021 United States state quarter dollar, and why this unassuming coin has collectors on high alert across the country. Whether you're a longtime collector or just someone who empties their change jar now and then, the 2021 quarter is one you'll definitely want to pay attention to. It's part of the final moments of a major numismatic era. After the long-running America the Beautiful Quarters program wrapped up in 2021, the U.S. Mint introduced a brand new design to mark this transitional year, and that's where the excitement begins. The 2021 quarters feature a design honoring Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site in Alabama, paying tribute to the legendary African-American pilots who fought during World War II. The artwork shows a pilot in full flight gear standing in front of a P-51 Mustang aircraft, with the words, "They fought 2 wars." It's a powerful image, rich with history and meaning. But beyond the beauty and significance of this coin lies a world of hidden treasures, rare mint errors and valuable variants that have made some of these quarters worth far more than anyone ever expected. So let's get into what really matters for collectors. What makes the 2021 quarter rare and valuable? First up, double die errors. This is when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice by the die, slightly out of alignment. The result? A visible doubling of text or numbers, especially noticeable in places like Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the year 2021. These types of errors are often subtle but highly sought after, and the sharper and more defined the doubling, the higher the value. Next, let's talk about off-center strikes. This is when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, resulting in a design that's shifted or partially missing. If a 2021 quarter has a significant off-center strike, especially if the full date is still visible, it becomes extremely attractive to error collectors. But wait, it gets even better. Some of the most valuable 2021 quarters discovered so far are those with die cracks or cuds. These appear when the die used to strike the coin becomes damaged or broken, creating raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface. Think of them as mint-made scars, each one totally unique. These flaws can increase the value of the coin exponentially, especially when they're prominent and unusual. Then there's the elusive wrong planchet error, a quarter struck on the blank for a dime or nickel, or even on a foreign coin blank. These mistakes are incredibly rare, but when found, they can make a coin instantly legendary in the eyes of collectors. Now here's something most people completely overlook: the W mint mark. In 2020 and 2021, the U.S. Mint at West Point released a small number of quarters into circulation with a W mint mark as part of a limited program to encourage coin collecting. If you find a 2021 quarter with that tiny W on the front, you're already holding a scarce coin. Add any kind of mint error on top of that, and you're talking serious money. Let's also talk about condition. This might sound obvious, but it's often underestimated. A 2021 quarter that's in mint state, meaning it looks fresh from the press, with no scratches, dings, or wear, is worth far more than a circulated one. Especially if it's been professionally graded as MS-65 or higher. Combine a mint condition with a rare error, and you have a recipe for a coin that collectors will pay top dollar to own. One more tip for you treasure hunters out there: check both sides of the coin carefully. Sometimes errors are easy to miss unless you're looking closely. Use a magnifier, look at the lettering, the edges, even the coin's thickness. Anything that looks out of the ordinary could be a clue that you found something special. And now, the part you've been waiting for, the Value Point 1 Rare 2021 United States State Quarter Dollar, featuring a significant mint error and preserved in high-grade condition, has been known to sell for as much as $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000. For a quarter that's barely a few years old and could still be floating around in your change right now. Just imagine finding one of these rare pieces while going through your pocket, or discovering it in a roll of quarters from the bank. So what should you do next? Simple. Start checking your change. Look at every 2021 quarter you find. Inspect it for errors. Examine its condition. Check the mint mark. Because you never know which ordinary-looking coin could turn out to be an extraordinary treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins that might be hiding in plain sight, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss a new upload. We're always hunting for the next big find, and maybe, just maybe, your next coin could be worth a fortune. Until next time, happy hunting, and keep your eyes on the change. You might just find gold and copper and nickel.